30th December 2022 was the time when the entire world and cricketing fans across the globe woke up to horrific images and news of Rishabh Pant's near fatal car crash. You know, that one sight of seeing his luxury car sent shiver down everyone's spine because that wasn't the news we were looking to wake up to just before ringing in the new year. A lot has happened since then in Indian cricket. You know, we have participated in two ICC events, Asia Cup, we have won medals at the Asian Games, and there has been change of guard, when it comes to chairman of selectors, captaincy debates and all those things. So today in this special broadcast for Cricket Next, I, Sahil Malhotra, welcome all of you as we'll be rewinding 2023, the year it was, the World Cup heartbreak, WTC final heartbreak, IPL, the Thalla fever, and all those things which happened in the last 12 months. So first, let me welcome all our panelists, starting with K. Srinivas Rao, Network 18 Group Sports Editor, noted columnist, cricket commentator and journalist Chetan Narula, and our very own Cricket Next editor Vineet Ramakrishnan. So welcome, gentlemen. Before we get into party mode, I think it's time to rewind a bit and look back at the year it was. So firstly, Border Gavaskar Trophy was well and truly our first assignment in the year gone by. All eyes were on that series, how we will fare and what kind of pitches will be on offer, because a lot was all at stake. A lot was at stake, basically. A WTC final spot was there for the taking. So first, I'll come to Vineet. Vineet, you started the ball rolling. You rolled the ball out for Cricket Next when you covered that opening game where Rohit Sharma scored a brilliant 100. Chetan was there with you for that match as well. So, just your thoughts, starting. 30th December 2022 was the time when the entire world and cricketing fans across the globe woke up to horrific images and news of Rishabh Pant's near fatal car crash. You know, that one sight of seeing his luxury car sent shiver down everyone's spine because that wasn't the news we were looking to wake up to just before ringing in the new year. A lot has happened since then in Indian cricket. We have participated in two ICC events, Asia Cup, we have won medals at the Asian Games, and there has been change of guard, when it comes to chairman of selectors, captaincy debates and all those things. So today in this special broadcast for Cricket Next, I, Sahil Malhotra, welcome all of you as we'll be rewinding 2023, the year it was, the World Cup heartbreak, WTC final heartbreak, IPL, the Thalla fever, and all those things which happened in the last 12 months. So first, let me welcome all our panelists, starting with K. Srinivas Rao, Network 18 Group Sports Editor, noted columnist, cricket commentator and journalist Chetan Narula, and our very own Cricket Next editor Vineet Ramakrishnan. So welcome, gentlemen. Before we get into party mode, I think it's time to rewind a bit and look back at the year it was. So firstly, Border Gavaskar Trophy was well and truly our first assignment in the year gone by. All eyes were on that series, how we will fare and what kind of pitches will be on offer, because a lot was all at stake. A lot was at stake, basically. A WTC final spot was there for the taking. So first, I'll come to Vineet. Vineet, you started the ball rolling. You rolled the ball out for Cricket Next when you covered that opening game where Rohit Sharma scored a brilliant 100. Chetan was there with you for that match as well. So, just your thoughts, starting the year, starting the red ball season with the Indian cricket team.
Oh, basically, even before that, series started, it was all the talks that you mentioned about the doctored pitches, how it would be. A lot was on stake for India, of course. They would need to win 3-1 to make it to the final. If not was the case, and there was a lot of those talks about the kind of pitches that India would bring into play for the Australians, and more or less it was the case, right? 3 days, in under 3 days, it was done and dusted. But Australia had lost the game even before the series had started, with all those talks about doctored pitches, and plus those selective watering. There was also that controversy of Ravindra Jadeja bowling with something extra on his hand, and all of those things. Australia were down and out in that game. For India, look, there was a lot, as you mentioned. Rishabh Pant's void was a big thing, big void to fill. But then again, you had the trifecta of Akshar Patel, Ravichandran Ashwin, and Ravindra Jadeja. Just too strong, whatever you may want to call it, tailor-made pitches or tailor-made series, so to speak. But the class of Indian team was there to see, and they were near invincible. And that Nagpur test was just start of what transpired in that entire series, and it was a very good day from an Indian perspective. Lot of controversies also was there, but shut out for a while for the Australian team there.
Chetan, now quickly, I'll take your quick comment. That he just mentioned the Rishabh Pant sized hole. It was a big hole to fill. And we saw that the way we selected the squad for that series, you had someone like a Ishan Kishan, you banked on someone like a Shreyas Iyer to give you intent lower down the order, something which was need of the hour when there wasn't any Rishabh Pant in the mix anymore. So what are your thoughts and, just reflecting back on that series and the madness and the turn and the minefields which were on offer?
Well, first of all, it was, क्या कैसे कहूँ मैं, there's a phrase in what we sometimes write as columnists or journalists, car crash. ऋषभ पंत का जो एक्सीडेंट था बहुत obviously दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण था, और now obviously a year on we are looking at his images where he's close to fitness, and we are hoping that he comes back IPL next year and plays Ranji Trophy and then comes back to the Indian Test team. We need ऋषभ पंत. लेकिन मेरे लिए तो ये पूरा साल इंडियन क्रिकेट के लिए भी कार क्रैश से कम नहीं था. You look at the WTC, you look at the World Cup, you look at what is happening in South Africa, the whole scenario, what happened before the World Cup in the West Indies, the experimentation, the confusion. So I could find very few positives for Indian cricket in this year. And it's tough to find positives when Indian cricket is so huge, so big.
Yeah.
It's a behemoth, right? It's humongous in stature, in finances, in everything. Somebody like a Michael Vaughan coming out and saying, क्या जीतते हैं ये लोग, क्या करते हैं ये लोग, they are underachievers. Michael Vaughan, with all due respect, I grew up watching him play cricket, but as a commentator, he runs off his mouth a lot, and I'm sure he'll agree to it. But he's not wrong. हम लोग क्या achieve करते हैं? I mean, and I remember I was talking to Srinivas a couple of weeks after the World Cup, and my question to him was, can Indian cricket afford to lose the T20 World Cup next year? Can we really afford not to win the T20 World Cup? If Indian cricket wins the T20 World Cup, हम लोग कर क्या रहे हैं? So overall, for me, this has been a car crash of a year. It's just like a phase. I'm not hinting at Rishabh Pant's near fatal accident, as you put. I'm just borrowing from it. From a writer's perspective, a writer's style perspective. So, but yeah, I think the Border Gavaskar Trophy was good. It was a good contest of bat and ball on the pitches that were provided. 2-1 at home against Australia on those pitches. No. 2023 में moral victory का एक trend चला है. England Ashes में moral victors थे. MCG टेस्ट में पाकिस्तान ने मॉरली जीत लिया apparently. इंडिया ने मॉरली वर्ल्ड कप जीता है according to some ex cricketers, because 10-0 हम लोगों ने किया, we were the better team on paper. तो ऑस्ट्रेलिया ने BGT मॉरली जीत लिया था यार.
I think you make a very valid point. Those moral victories.
उस सीरीज में 4-0 होना चाहिए था. मेरे को अच्छे से याद है, इंदौर टेस्ट के प्री मैच में रोहित शर्मा was talking about हम अहमदाबाद में कैसे करेंगे WTC final के लिए. And then you lost Indore, and then Ahmedabad was drawn, जिसमें उस्मान ख्वाजा ने रन्स बनाए, विराट कोहली ने रन्स बनाए, but that was a very bad pitch. और आपको and उस पिच का फायदा क्यों हुआ कि आप सीरीज 2-2 नहीं हारना चाहते थे, क्योंकि आपको क्वालिफाई करना था.
Correct.
So for me, अगर हम morally हम देखें तो ऑस्ट्रेलिया won the BGT morally. 2-1 on those pitches. Nah.
I'll quickly take Srini's comment now, because pitch, quote unquote, is going to be mentioned in every talking point in this segment, because that has been the year so far. A certain individual right next to the 22 yards. Srini, I clearly remember during the Border Gavaskar Trophy, you had put out multiple tweets when that doctoring, watering, and all those tongues were wagging from the Australian media about how we are using the home advantage unfairly. How do you weigh in on such comments, when visiting press kind of just makes a big issue out of absolutely nothing, because we were there and you can only tinker with the pitches, to a certain extent. You can't have those selective watering. Yes, you do create rough when it is required, and that is what home advantage is all about. So why was that so much hue and cry? And I clearly remember you were very agitated by those comments ki boss ye chal kya raha hai yaar, ye rukte kyun nahi hai?
नहीं वो I think I remember we were all in Delhi at that time, right? Vineet was covering the test match, and we were there in Delhi, and I think I lost it when I read that two-third watering वाला. वो मतलब ये क्या पागलपन है? आप क्या measuring tape लेके घूम रहे थे वहाँ पे कि इतना पानी डालना और यहाँ तक आके रोक देना? So that was stupid. Um, See, Australian media, by and large, has been the 12th man of the team, has been an extension of their playing 11, right?
Yeah.
Go back to whenever you can, like, whether it's 2001, the build up that happened, when Steve Waugh's team came here, they lost, they went in 2004 when they came back, and, again, that Nagpur test match, that green wicket, Saurav Ganguly not playing that test, and the Aussie media like literally kind of saying that the captain got scared and kind of stayed away. That to the extent that they actually blame Saurabh. So from then on, if you see, the intense rivalry has been fueled largely by their media. See, relatively Indian media is very respectful, very quiet. Okay, and
Yeah.
I mean that's it's in all honesty. I'm not saying because we are part of the ecosystem. The Aussie media actually, take a leaf from the ashes and how they go about. I remember in 2017 Bangalore Test match. Yeah, Bangalore it was, right,
Yeah.
where the
Clark, I
what
think.
was it?
Michael Clark.
Huh?
The Michael
Sorry.
Clark. The Michael Clark
Yeah.
spell, Bangalore.
No, no, no. I'm not about the spell. The what? Uh, you were looking at the TV Empire. What was it called? I was
Oh,
blinded.
brain
No,
fade. The brain fade.
brain
Brain
fade.
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 Sorry,
Rain
huh.
fade, yeah.
Brain fade moment. There, in that series, if you see the start of it, they compared Virat Kohli to Donald Trump. If you remember, there was a headline: Virat Kohli is the Donald Trump of Indian cricket, right? So this is how they have always been, and let me be very honest, it adds charm to a series. Suddenly you feel like, oh, the battle is here. Like, for example, when the Aussies arrived here, even their broadcaster Fox jumped in, media jumped in, the journalists who were traveling with the team kind of, took that pitch by a storm. See how little things, kind of, I mean, they gave us a picture as if they had mastered R Ashwin by taking that what was that
Pithia.
spinner?
Mahesh Pithia. Baroda spinner.
Sasta Ashwin, huh?
Mahesh
I'm
Pithia.
sorry, by kind of asking for that bowler. So look at the build up that they give. That's also a beauty of how they kind of pursue their Test cricket. Yes, to an extent, that two-third watering of the pitch and all was irritating. But the fact is, there is nothing wrong in creating a pitch that you want to play at home.
Yeah.
That is not a big question. The big question is India capable of themselves playing on a pitch that they think can be difficult for the opposition? And
Yeah.
in that, I think Indore and Ahmedabad, the two test matches, were actually an eye opener for India. Forget putting Australia under pressure, because if you think in the 90s under Mohammad Azharuddin with Anil Kumble, Venkatapati Raju, Rajesh Chauhan, it was pursued that these kind of heavily turning tracks would be in India's favor. That is because you had what you call is Diggaj batsmen who would stand there on pitches like those and score daddy hundreds. And let's
Yeah.
be very honest, in this Indian team, I feel an absolute dearth when it comes to playing quality spin, which is something that we have discussed in the past.
Yeah.
So these were the kind of things that put India, on sort of a dicey wicket all the time.
Yeah.
And what eventually the big picture that it gave to, which we can actually conclude in 2003, which actually could be a part of what Michael Vaughan is also trying to say, is आप ना घर के ना घाट के kind of, ना आप घर के बनाए हुए pitches पे खेल पाते हो, neither are you, comfortable playing at home on the kind of pitches you think at one time was your strength. Neither are you comfortable playing against the fast moving ball in Centurion,
Yeah.
right? And I think that is where the story of Indian cricket is stuck.
Now, Srini, it has been the nature of Indian cricket that between all this madness, there comes that IPL balm for a couple of months where everyone tends to forget everything and just focus on that 40 over madness every day for close to 2 months. And, it's just a different sort of vibe. And before we move on to the WTC final, which Srini covered from the Oval, he was there for 6-7 days covering, another unsuccessful shot at a ICC trophy. I'll take Vinny's quick comments because he was there covering the IPL. He saw the Thala madness from close quarters in Chennai. We were together for close to a week, where we just went the length and breadth of the city just to explore what MS Dhoni actually means in the city, what he eats, what he drinks, what he does when. And I think it was an experience. It was a different experience. I think it comes close to covering a World Cup because Dhoni in Chennai is a different vibe. And Vineet, you would agree with that.
Most definitely. And look, IPL in general, it's, when it started, you called it the cricket carnival. It actually is like a carnival. And we've been a big spectac about, India's 2023 campaign and everything. Nothing, no skepticism there in terms of IPL. It's fun. And yeah, that Dhoni madness, that was I think, the highest point there for you and me. Of course, we both were there for the qualifiers. And this IPL was all about Dhoni. How this 2023 was everything about cricket and the ODI World Cup. This IPL was all about Dhoni. Will he retire? Will he not? This is farewell match or everything. Every time he came out to bat, even during the league phases, Ravindra Jadeja got booed because he was stopping Dhoni from coming in that way. I mean, that was the kind of craze it was, and it was kind of a culmination of all that madness, all that fervor, all that fan following that Dhoni had, and we witnessed it firsthand. It was maddening. I mean, madness is in a way understatement. We were in June, we were there in May, it was sweltering hot. Yet you had people lining up for watching MS Dhoni practice sessions and everything. The streets were all. I mean, me were part of that procession. When they played the final, it was just amazing. MS Dhoni, the kind of, I don't know. Like, I personally, I'm from a generation where we've seen, Sachin Tendulkar play. Srini and Chetan probably they would know in terms of, the kind of madness Sachin Tendulkar had all over India or even Mumbai. That Chennai was kind of a microcosm of all that.
Yeah,
I know comparison might not be the fair one, but that's what it felt like.
yeah.
Nothing greater. The kind of fan following that humble man, the great one, had, and we were fortunate enough
Absolutely.
to witness.
And it was one of a kind tournament where a final was played across 2 days. Rain in Ahmedabad during that time, crowd rushing for cover, all sort of administrative mess unfolding, water, kind of flowing through the stairs. It was a messy affair, but it had a very sweet ending because last ball finish. Narendra Modi Stadium, IPL final, MS Dhoni with the hands on the trophy again, sharing it with Ambati Raidu, who was playing his last season. But those were
And
like
Jadeja of all people, who was a villain last year, emerging as the hero there in that final.
very quickly after the IPL, the mood kind of shifted to the WTC final. I clearly remember covering a BCCI meeting. You were there with me, where players were kind of leaving in batches for the preparations for the WTC final because not much time was left in between those two tournaments. Now, Srini, very quickly, I'll bring you in. And WTC final, you were there. We had fair share of injury concerns. Shreyas wasn't available. KL Rahul wasn't available, who injured himself. We'll discuss the injuries and comebacks in detail. But I think right now, let's just focus on the WTC final. I'll bring in Chetan also after Srini is done. So, Srini, first, how was it covering a test match in England? Because I know you were pretty excited for that thing. You didn't do that for a long time now, and you were looking forward to covering a game in England, a red ball game in England. India, clouds, pitch, R. Ashwin. I think that probably sums up and gives you the cue for what to say next.
I thought we were like, kind of, we were there. We were there and we really had a chance. And, I remember even the game, uh, there was, I don't know. I mean, I didn't attend the press conferences and all of the Indian team. I just like saw it from a distance. And, but I could always see that there was some bit of confidence reflecting in these boys. And, kind of, they had managed to reach there for the second consecutive time. Uh, First time having lost, I thought they would be more determined to kind of set things right. Did they have the attack to pull it off? Yes, of course they did. And then that same attack, you went ahead, you kind of did all the right things. I mean, you kind of uh, I remember on the eve of the game, Rohit Sharma kind of came to address that press conference. And he was very, what to say, like, kind of, he was not very forthcoming on what the 11 is going to be, but he and Rahul Dravid, both of them sounded like, they were much in control. And then you win the toss and you take a decision like that. You just drop that one bowler, who was, what were you thinking? I mean, the local Englishmen actually don't go by the weather, kind of forecast that is usually comes out. I mean, I was there and I remember because whenever on Cricket Next we would do the show, I had to come all the way out of the oval, right? So I
Yeah,
had to literally come outside the oval on the road and
and the
then
weather
start
would change.
exactly. Boss, there have been times like, when I'm walking out of the media box to come out of the oval, it's like literally in those 5 to 7 minutes, it's been like hotter, hottest. Kind of the sun, like every single day starting day one, it just went hotter, hottest. It was almost like the weather telling Rohit Sharma and Rahul Dravid, अच्छा बेटा रुको मैं बताता हूँ तुमको, right? तुम इतने शाणे हो ना, रुको मैं बताता हूँ. So it's almost like it was a joke for not picking R Ashwin. And if I have to put down, if I have to go back and what Travis said, 163,
Yeah,
153,
163, 163.
163.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Steve Smith, of course. क्या बोलना है? That's where you lost the game. That's where you lost the game. And the
I think,
more they stuck around, the more you missed Ashwin. And
you know,
unfortunate after that.
I think there's no better gentleman than finding adjectives for what happened with R. Ashwin during that period. And he has been finding different reasons to just vent his frustration out. And I think he's not done yet. So I'll request Chetan Narla to kind of that Ashwin thing. We have read numerous Ashwin interviews after that WTC final where he spoke about not having friends in the dressing room, how he felt lonely at times, how he would take these things on the chin. But still, they didn't play him. They lost the final, and we kind of expect them to do the same again in the second test too. So, what are your thoughts on how Indian cricket continues to disappoint when it comes to picking Ashwin and disrespecting him? I'm borrowing Chetan's words, disrespecting him. So, Chetan.
Yeah, I mean, we disrespect him. I mean, a bowler who's picked almost 500 wickets, and he will finish with 500 plus. Where he'll finish eventually, whether he'll get to 600 or not, I don't know. But 500 to easy, na? He's not far away from 500. I think in
So
the England series,
488,
he'll get, huh?
489, and I think he picked one.
490
490, I think.
490
490.
ना, एक विकेट लिया ना पिछले मैच में.
हाँ,
और
490.
लोग हैं वो, अभी हम होपिंग कोई आए कमेंट करने के लिए, बट वो लोग हैं कि अरे उसका एवरेज ये है, उसका एवरेज ये है. 2 कैच तो ड्रॉप हो गए उस पिच पे सेंचुरियन में. तो जो 492 हो सकता था वो 490 पे रह गया. वो तो कोई काउंट करता नहीं है. So it's okay. I mean, this is part of the game. You can't cry for dropped catches and all. But look, Ravichandran Ashwin has not been treated fairly. Indian cricket doesn't understand Ravindra Jadeja, wo to chhod hi do, but doesn't respect Ravichandran Ashwin. India has played 6 test matches in England since 2021, and Ashwin has not played in a single test match